right, boys. Buckle up. It's go time. Welcome back. Welcome to the first stream of 2024. Am I still calling this thing the Project Freedom Podcast? I don't even know, boys. I don't even know. But just so you guys know, my internet service is maybe a little shoddy. So if the quality's not too good, well, sorry about you. But yeah, first stream of 2024, fellers. So speaking of 2023, very interesting year, my friends. Very interesting year. But I got a feeling, guys. I got a small feeling, a little tiny feeling that 2024 is going to be maybe a little bit more eventful than 2024. So a couple things I wanted to cover tonight, and let's just get into it. First and foremost, Bitcoin. The Bitcoin halving in particular. I mean, we can talk about, let's just talk about, I'll get all this out of the way. Let's talk about all the crypto stuff. So if you guys don't know, the next Bitcoin halving is supposed to be like sometime during April of this year. I'm not too sure. And the thing is, like, they never can tell you an exact date because it's not based off of like a time. It's based off a number of blocks. But we can get there. And you know what? Here. For those who don't know, just in case. All right, so what is the Bitcoin halving? And I'm sure probably most of you guys watching this already know, but bear with me, guys. Bear with me. What is Bitcoin halving? Bitcoin halving is a condition defined within Bitcoin's protocol that requires the Bitcoin block reward to be cut in half every 210,000 blocks. Okay, I thought it was like 400-some thousand blocks. But anyway, what does that mean? That essentially means that after the quote-unquote halving, the amount of like reward, the amount of Bitcoin that the miners are going to get rewarded for finishing the blocks is going to be cut in half. All right. Wade Emery in the house. What up, dude? Good to see you, man. What up, Christian Soto? Antonio. What up, OG? What up, OG Nick? So yeah, guys, like, I mean, the thing is, no one ever really knows exactly when, right? But they can predict. I mean, they basically just use like algorithms and like math to predict like when the halving is going to be. And again, it's based off of like every 210,000 blocks. So they're saying that it's going to be around April. What does this article say? Yeah, likely to occur in April 2024. All right. So one thing too, the last halving was May 2020, right? And I'm pretty sure that, actually, let's chart this, guys. Let's take a peep at a chart. Because I'm pretty sure, like, I don't think the price was influenced like a whole lot back in May 2020. Or maybe I'm just being like, maybe I'm just number biased because like it was 60,000, like what, October 2021? All right, check this out, guys. I found something interesting here. Let's look at this. Let's look at this together. All right, so it looks like, let's forget about 11 to 13, 15 to 17. Let's look at the last cycle. All right, so the halving was, I'm assuming, the line in between the cycle bottom and the top. I don't know. Where is the halving? Oh, here we go. Okay, well, I clicked that button and it didn't show us anything about halving, but okay, what does this guy say? We're going to take a look at previous cycle bottoms, highs, blah, blah, blah. Oh, May. So we already know it was May. We just go off of that. All right, so when it here is May of 2020, right about December 19, January 20, February 20, March, April, May. All right. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. All right, so like here, right here is like where the halving was, like right at this little spot. So like I already kind of like get it. There was already like, if we took this whole green square right here and we cut it into like percents, like right here, that's probably like what, guys? Like that's 1/5 of the cycle high, or the quote unquote pump. So the price did get affected a little bit from before the halving, right? But it looks like majority of that continued on all the way until from May. When is into this cycle high? May 20 to March 2021. All right. So, I mean, what does that mean? supply and demand kind of thing, right? So like if the reward, like basically all you guys need to know is that the halving is supposed to like decrease the amount of corn, the Bitcoins in circulation, right? So supply and demand, and plus all the little hypey stuff that goes on with the halving and everything else like that, and all the other coins and everything. 12, 11, 10, 9. So it's like 9 months, right? So if my point I'm trying to make, fellas, is if the halving ends up actually being in April, which is what, 4 months from now, then we kind of have like basically if, and this is if, right? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm no genius or anything like that, but if we were to follow the exact same type of like behavior as what went down the last cycle, well, like we're basically like right here. We're like right here right now. So we have the entirety of like the upride of the cycle to go through, which isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. I mean, maybe you just maybe might want to buy some corn, right? But of course, like, you know, the end of 2022, middle and the end. I mean, the last bull run was probably like really over like December of 2021. Let's be fucking for real, guys. Let's be fucking for real. I mean, I know a lot of us were still like caught up in some degenerate gambling behaviors because hey, it's very dopamine ridden. So, you know, how can you not partake? How can you not partake and number go up? Exactly, Wade, number go up. But like the cycle was probably like really done. The good parts that were done like December, and you know, went a little bit further than most people should have, but still, the whole point of this, guys, is like if that's true, if this does repeat the same kind of like overlay, then hey, we got the entire thing to go. Now it could absolutely do nothing like that. I could be completely wrong about that, but history is a indicator of things happening again, right? So that's what's going on in the Bitcoin halving. I think that's why, like, hence, even though the economy is like so shitty, which I'm going to get to the economy in a sec, guys. Even though the economy has been kind of like, wait, I'm sorry, the economy is great. Sorry, guys, the economy is the best economy it's ever been. Haha, it's totally true because that's what the news told me. Even though the economy is totally amazing right now, that's why I think the price is going up. And here's another thing I was thinking about before the stream, guys. I'm glad I just remembered this. Here's another thing I was thinking about, and it's more of a question to ponder, I guess. I wonder if, like, all the hysteria and the prices skyrocketing during the last bull run, was it really any different than the bull run before that? Because the bull run before that, I think I just closed the chart, but no, I still got it open. The bull run before that was 2015 and 2017, right? And like maybe 2016, 2017, the economy was like getting better, but it started in 2015, guys. So like, I'm pretty sure like 2012 to like 2014, the economy wasn't good. And we still had like insane price increases in like all the alts and all the other stuff back then too. So like, you know, was it really, did this last time around, did the money printer being on, did the Fed pumping a lot of money and doing a lot of quantitative easing, did that really like affect the bull run as much as we all thought it did? Or would it have just been the same without it, right? And my point for saying that is, even though the economy is not so great right now, what is Bitcoin, like 43K? We're at like 163% increase year over year, not year over year, but from previous year, right? And I just love it because obviously it's the same thing every single time. Like as soon as the end of 2022 came around, like, oh, stupid Jim Cramer, oh, Bitcoin's dead. And all of like the old trad 5 people are like, oh, it's dead. They say the same shit every year. And like, they don't understand, like, they just don't get it. They just don't get it, but it's fine. They will someday. And it's okay. We got to spare them. Do I have my mic selected? I do, but like I had this thing so far away from me that, is that better, Christian? It's going to cover up half of my face. Whatever, guys. Fuck it. I do think, hey, Christian, let me know if it's actually better now. Because if not, I'd actually rather be able to see the camera. So I really don't know, guys. I think, I'm just going to be optimistic. Like I said, I think it's going to be a good year, particularly for me. I hope it's a good year for all you guys too. But I hope that this year, like, we have a lot of ample opportunity, at least similar opportunity than we had in the last bull run, which would be cool. Now, obviously, that's why all this stuff is starting, and that's why I think is the reason for the downturn in the cryptocurrency market. But another thing to look at, gentlemen, and this is kind of old news, guys, but the Bitcoin ETF. So, and again, this is old news. Don't hate me. Don't hate on me, guys. There's a number of ETFs trying to get approved now, or supposedly like they're supposed to be getting approved like pretty soon. No one knows the exact date, right? And of course, on the news, they're always going to be like, "Hey, it's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be this day." I'm pretty sure this like whole approval thing has been going on for the last like 16 months or 18 months, something ridiculous like that. But we swear, guys, they swear this time it's for real. This time it's for real. I don't know. It seems like mainstream media is actually talking about it this time. And like, I think, as much as I don't like mainstream media, they tend to like put out the information at certain times when it needs to be and they want it to be. And there's no reason to lie about this. At this point, like they're going to have to approve. Like they can't just go another like 5 years of not allowing ETFs to a Bitcoin ETF. They just can't. If you don't know what an ETF is, guys, it's electronically traded fund. It's really just like paper Bitcoin. So like basically this would be the equivalent of like putting Bitcoin on Wall Street, which nobody doesn't need it to be, right? It doesn't need to be on Wall Street for it to do what it's already doing and what it has done the last previous cycles. We know that. I mean, we just looked at a graph, but that might be like the extra jazz hypiness for people trying to like, get into it. And hey, I'm going to be for real. I'll just be for real here. Like, and I'm guilty of this myself too. People don't like want to put money in as much or don't get like as excited or hyped up around this stuff until everything's all already hypey, right? And the truth is, I think the price, like lots of good opportunities to make like profit on this stuff. Like let's say you're a trader or you want to trade or stuff. I think lots of opportunity to make profit on this stuff is probably going to be when like mom and pop start flooding into the market, because we already know mom and pop don't flood into the market when they should. I mean, no one really does 100% only when they should and sells and pulls out of the market when they also should, right? It's usually like a little bit of the inverse, right? But that might actually, this might be like the thing that like is the whole hypey thing this time around, right? Last time we had all the money printing. I don't know what they're going to do with rates, guys, this year. I mean, I'm not an economist, right? So I couldn't tell you guys. But let's check this out. Let's see what they say about this real quick. So this is Jan 5th, 2 days ago. Investment management firms, stock exchanges, U.S. securities. So basically the SECs on Friday discussed final wording changes to filings for spot Bitcoin ETF. So the word final wording changes, I guess like after that point, they're not going to be discussing it anymore. And it's supposed to be a step that leads to the U.S. approval of the funds for the first time next week. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what like firms and banks. I know BlackRock is supposed to be one of the ones that are like have one of these ETFs, but does anybody know what other ones there are? I feel like there's been so many at this point. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. And the rest of the economy seems kind of gloomy. But hey, crypto Web3 ain't doing too bad. What else, guys? So that's Bitcoin. Oh, yes. What did I want to talk about? Something I'm kind of trying to get interested in right now is Solana. And like, shout out to Sam P. You're probably not watching right now, but if you watch later, shout out to Sam. Sam made like the one of the good money moves of the year back in like 2021, 2022. Like Sam was always like, Sam's a funny guy. He's always ahead of his time and always behind his time with a lot of things too. But it always works out to be nice and interesting for him. Sam was one of the first people in like our little group that got basically like traded all of his Ethereum and started like getting into Solana. And I don't think he was doing it for a money move. I think he just saw like I think he just liked the Solana network, right? And myself, I'll be fair. I'll be honest. I wasn't on the Solana train when it came out and it launched near like when did Solana like launch, guys? The network, like the end of it was either into 2021 or beginning of 2022, right? And here's why. Like, first of all, logically speaking, I'm like, okay, well, it's just another like layer one with smart contracts, and there's like 1,000 of these now, right? They're all trying to be Ethereum, and yeah, Binance Smart Chain's pretty good too, but it's basically just like an Ethereum clone that like CZ can run and control, right? But hey, Solana's faster, and it's just, you know, it's supposed to be faster, just like Phantom and all these other networks are faster. Blah 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 blah. March 2020. Damn. But was that when the network launched, or was that when the IPO was? Anyway, I mean that's believable. But it didn't getting the price of the Solana coin itself didn't like get hypey until like what, the end of 2021, early 2022. Anyway, my point is before the price started taking off and people started like jumping into it and the network activity started picking up, Sam had already like been there, done that. And I was like resistant to it. And he actually told me, he's like, dude, you should like disregard Ethereum, acquire Solana. But there was kind of some suspicious things about Solana. And other than the fact that like, hey, it just seems like another layer one with smart contracts. Seems like another layer one protocol with smart contracts. What's the point? To me, I was secretly on the inside, I was a little disgruntled and butthurt that I had spent a lot of time learning Solidity and just learning the Ethereum network in general, how to use it, how to be a user, how to be a developer on it, that I was like, I don't want to have to like spend all that time again, learning something new. That was me being disgruntled. But the truth is, guys, you know, and if you guys are into tech or you're into software or even into developer and engineer like me, like the truth is, guys, my career and what I do for work, like I already have to like learn new shit and like time over and over again, right? And it's kind of like upsetting sometimes that you like spend a lot of time learning something, you achieve a good level of success on it, maybe not mastery, or maybe you even get some like mastery on a level for like, I don't know, let's say whatever programming language, JavaScript, React, let's say it's a framework, React. And that's what everyone's using. Everyone's using React. Before React, you weren't using React. You were using like Java and Spring. And then all of a sudden everyone's using React. And now you got to use React because you're not gonna be able to you can stay in your same job if you just keep what you got, but you're never going to get another better job. You won't stay relevant in the market unless you learn these new things. That is just the nature of software development in general, right? Like you constantly have to learn new stuff or else you're literally going to be obsolete. Okay. It is what it is. And so it's really not that big of a deal. And considering that Solana runs smart contracts off of Anchor, which is like basically like Rust, you know, it won't be too hard to like get into that. So that's kind of like my deal with Solana right now. I think it's pretty cool. There's a couple like problems I have with it, right? But I mean, nothing's perfect except for Bitcoin. Haha. But I mean, for real though, like a decentralized computing network that actually has smart contract capabilities. Solana's pretty sweet. Look, all the Zoomers are using Solana's for their NFTs and shit now. Because here's the thing, guys. Even after Ethereum has like made upgrades to like make things faster and more and cheaper to use. Like, dude, like 18-year-old Zoomer, Zach. That's right, Zach. 18-year-old Zoomer Zach. He's 18 years old. He can't afford like $30 for a transaction just to like trade NFTs with his friends, right? So what can they afford? Like 32 cents. It's like the same as like a tax would be in real life, right? And it's faster, it's cheaper. The Zoomers are using it. And I think network activity, I believe, has been increasing with Solana recently. I actually got an article I want to show you guys that I was looking at earlier about the network activity of Solana. So let's take a peep at that. And I think this article was like December of 22. Let's see. Where'd that article be at, Doe? October 22? All right. So I'm willing to bet. Let me pull this up, guys. Bear with me. Eagle Cloud in the house. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a new chain a few years that devs had to learn. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's just how it's going to be, bro. That's just how it's going to be. It went public so the IPO or the ICO was 316. Okay. Damn. Flying under the radar for us normal folks. But Eagle Cloud, yeah. I mean, dude, that's just the nature of like, look, if we just remove crypto and Web3 stuff, and and we just go back to like normal tech. We go back to like
Web 2.0.
It's the same thing, dude. Like I used the example earlier. Like what's today's React is tomorrow's bleep blorp script, right? And if you want to stay relevant in the industry, if you want to be a good quality engineer, if you want to continue to like build new things and not develop the same exact application over and over again and just fix bugs on it and do new features on it, which some people do, that's fine. Some people just want to do that. Then you got to learn new stuff. And that's okay. That's part of the reason why I like my field is because I'm so ADHD. I'm so ADHD that once I like get good at something, I like don't like it anymore. All right, so Solana Network thrives. Put this bigger for you boys. Despite Solana's volatile price, blah, 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 this is last year. Solana Network is witnessing a heightened activity of daily transaction volume when Solana surges to more than 40 billion. All right, so like, dude, daily transaction volume, more than $40 billion. And that was back in October 22, right? So I'm willing to bet, and I don't know for sure. And I wish there was like a, you know what, guys? Here's one of the things that kind of pisses me off about these new layer ones, these new layer ones and these new protocols that are like not as decentralized as Bitcoin. And I hate to sound like a boomer here, but this is just true from a technological standpoint. Like I'm willing to bet that I could probably Google search like current, let's look for current Solana network activity. Like you can go and look into the nodes and stuff and you can see the status, but I'm willing to bet that like a lot of their stuff is obfuscated, right? Like how are we going to know exactly how many users have like made a transaction on Solana down to the minute unless you're running a Solana node and can pull that data? I don't know, right? But anyway, the point of that is like, at least with Bitcoin, there's so many different block explore. There's so many different pre-built software already existent that is trustworthy and is made by all kinds of different people all across the planet that you can just go and see very clearly what's going on in the Bitcoin network, right? And that was one of the things that like Phantom, if you guys remember the Phantom network, it was like an EVM clone. That was one of the things that kind of ifs me out about that kind of stuff. So back to what I was saying like earlier on the stream, when Solana came out, I was like, I don't know, bro. Kind of sus. But I think I'm willing to bet that back when back when the good old coin was still new and not as decentralized as it is now, because again, it takes time for these networks to like expand, right? More people in different places have to, start running and contributing to the network for that to be more quote unquote decentralized. Well, I'm willing to bet Bitcoin was kind of the same, but I'm willing to bet that the network activity is probably higher around now, like at least casual network activity. I'm not talking about like the degenerate trading and the whales that goes on that increases all network activity every single bull run, just generic network activity. Because like I said, guys, the Zoomers are using Solana, and if you are a millennial and or older and you're not a Zoomer, you got to get with the times. You got to get with the times, Bubbins. Got to get with the times. So the kids are using it, which is a good sign. And I mean, fuck, guys, 40 billion back in October, $40 billion worth of network activity or highest network transaction volume in October 22. I mean, that's a lot, guys. So where is this? Solana's daily transaction volume. Source Hello Moon. Now, let's check this Hello Moon thing out, guys. Let's check this Hello Moon thing out. Is this a Soul Block Explorer? Okay, can we get an overview here? Ecosystem. Daily first signers. Oh, damn. What the fuck? Daily first signers. All right. So, I'm not sharing it. Sorry, guys. Check this out. All right, guys. So, daily first signers. What do you know? I swear to God, I didn't look at this before the stream. So like right here, when does this peak start? December 23. All right. It's like a month ago. So I think this line, can I draw on here? Yeah. This peak is a little bit higher than back when they were saying that the highest transaction volume was. So, hey, look at that. That doesn't mean people are using it per se right now, but okay, what is first signers? First signers, like you just made your wallet and you just signed in, you connected your wallet to an application for the first time. So that's going on like literally right now, guys. And it's like we had the most that we've ever had right around this time. So, like I said, the Zoomers are using this shit. Is it going to be the end all be all? I don't know. But why am I talking about Solana so much? What up, Max? Dignitas in the hoose, my liege, my lord. Mustang emojis in the house. The horse emojis, dude. Check them out. Mustangs on the wall. Why am I talking about Solana? Well, I'm just being selfish here, but I'm just telling you guys, like, this is what I want to learn this time around. Last time I spent a lot of time with Ethereum and the EVM and Solidity and smart contracts. This time around, what I'm going to do to stay quote unquote relevant and to also have fun, because, like, let's be honest, there's always a good chunk of fun and like diving deep into this stuff that you're interested in and like learning, especially if you're an engineer. It's like exciting, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing this time around, is spending time not being a boomer and learning some of this stuff. Let's check what else is on here before I get to the next topic, guys. Average Solana transferred ecosystem sold. Okay, so I think this is like the ratio between Solana and like non-Solana ecosystem. This goes back a month. What do we do for like, let's do all. This is interesting. This is a tight graph. If it'll actually load. By the way, guys, how's my internet connection going? Is it terrible? Is it okay? Tips to learn Solana by any chance? Well, like learn how to learn to use the network itself, or Anchor, which is like the Rust-based programming language that smart contracts are built on. I can answer both. So I mean, I would guess. And again, I'm just now getting into Solana, guys. So it wasn't until like a week ago that I started like checking out some apps on it and doing some reading. Which let's look through. We should probably pick one. What's a good Solana app, guys? There was a decent one that was very reminiscent of obviously there's Radium. Max Nitas. I know you're probably gonna say Radium. There was one. Okay, here's the, like, let's just say now, obviously in Minecraft, right? I'm not talking about myself. Let's just say you wanted to have a script that trades 1 minute candles at like $20 trades every like 10-minute candle or 1 minute candle, right? And you wanted to run a bot to do that, and you live. Let's say the person in Minecraft that does this is against authority and having to pay money to authority that they don't like. You know, kind of like that John McAfee guy. Well, like this if you're going to do that on a decentralized computing platform, which, you know, if they really wanted to find out anyway, they probably could. Besides the point, if you wanted to do that, you would do it on something like, you know, the Phantom Network or like Solana or whatever, right? And there was an elder one, Phantom. It was a spooky spot. The one that I saw on the Solana network the other night was very reminiscent of that. It was like cool. It was like very simplistic. Like a grandma could make trades on this thing, and I think there was some yield farming on it too. Eagle Cloud, back to your question. I didn't mean to skip ahead of that real quick. I got distracted at myself, Eagle Cloud. So like, if you wanted to learn just how to use the network itself, I mean, the same thing that you would do for everything else, right? Like you just go, you know, research some of the dApps, some of the applications. You pick them up, you start using them. You know, maybe you go buy an NFT on like whatever. I'm pretty sure, what's it called? OpenSea. I'm pretty sure they support Solana, right? So you would like, you know, go check that out, do some network transactions, see how expensive it is at certain times, see how cheap it is at certain times, blah, 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 blah. But if you wanted to learn Anchor, which is the language that the Solana's C-level runtime framework, and I mean, I would probably start by learning Rust because, well, Anchor is Rust based, right? And then I would probably like learn some basics of Rust. Shameless plug. I have some good Rust tutorials. They're decent. I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, guys, my Rust tutorials are not decent, but they got pretty good views for my channel, which is a small channel. Because, and here's the thing, there's no Rust videos on YouTube. Nobody wanted to learn how to do Rust. You could check that out and then probably get into Anchor. Or I could continue to live stream. We could all just do it together, bro. Let's all do it together. Because like I said, I don't really know Solana yet, right? That's what I want to get into. And it's going to take some time, but, you know, boom, Cody Moose in the hoose. That looks like Grafana. The interface for the web app we're on right now, coming through fine. Thanks, Wade. Thank you, Eagle. Bird's eye view in Solana. Okay, like I'll give you like a breakdown with my knowledge of the Solana network thus far. Basically, it is a layer 1 network. It is a decentralized computing network like Bitcoin, like Ethereum. What it makes different from Bitcoin, not different from Ethereum, is that it is smart contract compatible. So basically, like instead of just Bitcoin's whole purpose was to be like a monetary kind of quote unquote system. Bitcoin's whole purpose was to be able to use and send Bitcoin and to have that be done basically, let's use the buzzword again, in a decentralized manner, but not without interference from something, right? Whether that something be a government or like a lord or a knight. Like nobody can grab the Bitcoin computing network for themselves and just be like, I'm in control here, right? But that's just to do with sending Bitcoin and receiving Bitcoin. And we're going to use this thing called Bitcoin as a medium of exchange, right? Then there was like Ethereum, and that was another layer 1, which is essentially the same thing as Bitcoin. You can use it to exchange people, and it's quote unquote decentralized. But what made Ethereum different from Bitcoin was the fact that it was quote unquote smart contract compatible, which just really means that you can write code on top of it. So not only was, so keep in mind, we're just talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was like, hey, I send and receive you this value through the internet, and the banks can't stop it, the government can't stop it, nobody can stop it. That's great. Same thing with Ethereum, but not only can you send and exchange Ethereum, which is like the value that gets exchanged on the network, but you can also build, deploy, use applications that the government can't shut down, that the banks can't shut down, that someone can't shut down because they're mad, right? Why is that? Why was that important? Well, that was important because like, okay, first we had like monetary freedom. Bitcoin like brought us to like monetary freedom, right? And dude, sorry, Max Kaiser. I love Max Kaiser, but Max Kaiser is like a hardcore Bitcoin maximalist, and very rightfully so, I think, in my opinion, because like, hey, a lot of these other protocols there's a lot of sus stuff going on in Web3 and crypto, right? But why is that important if not already, one of these other protocols becomes as decentralized as Bitcoin is because, hey, not only do we have monetary freedom, now we have cyber freedom in general. So, and I know what someone's going to bring up Tornado Cash, and I'll get there in a second, right? But why is that important? Okay, so like, what happens if you are morally a good person and you're not doing anything wrong, and you build some software that like anybody just goes to cheatcodeforlife.com and they click a button, and then like, hey, everyone on the planet has access to cheatcodeforlife.com, and when they click a button, you get the cheat codes for life. Well, the big people upstairs, not the man upstairs, but the big people, take that as you will. The big people in control are going to be like, no, we can't have these fucking peasants having access to the cheat code for life. We have this whole system set in place for them. We're going to have to control that. They'll remove it, right? Or what if you just said something bad, and because they don't like who you are, they're going to remove your software? What if there's like information on the internet that certain people don't want certain people to have? Like, let's say a government doesn't want people to have access to certain type of information. Well, like that is why that's what made Ethereum, that kind of brought us into like, I'll just call it like cyber freedom, monetary freedom, cyber freedom, right? So that was the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm getting there, Eagle Cloud. Bear with me. Now, what Solana is it's basically just like, it's very similar to Ethereum, but what makes it different is the sense that it's faster and it's cheaper. So, and there's a lot of like nuance and topic that we could go into for both. How is it faster and cheaper and different from from Ethereum and Bitcoin too? But all you got to really know is this: like, if you're using applications, decentralized applications, dApps on the Ethereum network, if you're using that stuff and you have to use it, well, the shit's not free, right? All this comes at a cost. So you can use all this stuff, but in order for this, and there's a lot of like quote unquote game theory, but the reason why this stuff works and it's unbreakable, and like different parties that have billions of dollars can't like ruin each other, is because you have to pay. You have to pay to play on Ethereum. The network, people aren't just going to like, how can you force somebody to always play a game within the rules? Well, like, you have to A, reward them for playing the game within the rules, and B, punish or ban them when they don't play the game within the rules. That way, if that's set in stone, everybody can play the game, and they can play the game safe and sound because they know if anybody breaks the rules, well, it's not going to get affected. Like if you try to change something in the blocks, you know, your node gets kicked off the line, permanently banned for forever, right? Whatever. And you reward them in fees, part of the transaction fees that cost run the network. Well, the Ethereum network is very costly to run. It's very computationally intense, and it's also costly for other reasons too. Like I think hardware. I think a lot of the average person probably can't run an Ethereum mining rig anymore, which we don't even have Ethereum mining. Are all the miners phased out now on Ethereum, guys? I know it was like they're slowly phasing them out after 5150 or whatever protocol it was 2 years ago. Who knows anymore? What the hell? Did I just freeze, guys? That was the weirdest thing ever. I'm looking at StreamYard right now, and I like froze, and a bubble popped up next to my head with a thumbs up. Really weird. Anyway, where was I? Okay. Solana is cheaper than Ethereum. So the biggest problem with the Ethereum network is like the average person couldn't really afford to use it to its fullest extent. Like if you had like a $100,000 Ethereum bag and you wanted to trade all the time and do all this like stuff and utilize network, yeah, sure, you have no problem. But if you're like a Zoomer who's 18 and you're just out of high school and you just want to trade NFTs, then you can't afford. Like, let's say you're trading an NFT that's $10 worth of Solana. You can't afford a $35 fee of Solana on top of the $10 that you're paying for it already. Like some of the transactions end up costing more in the fees than the transactions were worth doing itself. So that's like kind of the difference between Solana. There's some other stuff, but I hope that's enough of like a breakdown for you. If you want me to expand on anything, let me know. For a good app on Solana, oh yeah, back to that. Let's take a look at, let's go to DApp Radar. Good old DApp Radar. Let's take a peek for Ruski at DApp Radar, guys. I haven't been to the site in a while. But yeah, Cody, it does kind of look like Grafana, doesn't it? I'm going to, we'll come back to that site another time. All right, DApp Radar. You saw the bubble? You done synced it? You done synced the bubble? I saw it too. It was weird. Why did that happen, guys? What the fuck? All right, DApp Radar. Where are you? Eagleclad. A good app for Solana. Bet Radium's on here. All right, sportbet.one. Okay, so this makes sense. The number one, that's an ad. I was going to say the number one DApp or the number one application of Solana right now would be sportbet.one, which is not. That's an ad, right? But the reason why I wouldn't be surprised by that is like, hey, there's not a lot of people like getting into the degeneracy. We haven't reached peak degeneracy yet in this bull run, right? So like there's not a lot of people using it. So like what an average normies do, they like sport bets. And how can you do that from like how can you be in Japan and also bet with people in the United States kind of like under the radar? Well, sportbets.one, I guess, using cryptocurrency, right? But okay, Jupiter Exchange, Radium, which this is a decent DApp. Margin, and there's some games too. Star Atlas. Isn't Star Atlas a game, guys? Let me look at this real quick. You guys can't see it, but yeah, okay. Star Atlas, that's a game. It's a virtual game, a virtual gaming metaverse on the Solana blockchain with Unreal Engine, 5 real-time graphics, multiplayer games. Stu, where's Stu? I don't know. We should ask. Somebody's got to ask Stu. I'm sending a message to the group. Stu, please critique. I'll put the link in the chat if you guys want to see it. Please critique this. He's not going to do it before the end of the stream. He's probably sleeping. But anyway, you got games. Margin Fi, Soul Incinerator. I'm guessing that's a game too. What is this? Geopets, bro. Soul Incinerator. What is this, guys? This is a burn any unwanted NFT or tokens and reclaim the rent. Huh. That's interesting. Let's actually let's take a look at here. I'm just going to share my entire Chrome browser. That way I don't have to worry about switching all these. Okay. So how does this work, guys? Burn any unwanted NFT or tokens to reclaim the rent. So the Soul Incinerator is a tool made by Solana Slugs, which allows for a seamless process to clean out the CRUD, rugs, and scam NFTs from your wallet. It costs a small fee called rent to reinstantiate an NFT. The burn instructions allows this rent to be liberated, and the incinerator provides a useful UI to do so, leveraging Jupyter's API. Okay, so if you want to get all... Okay, that was another big problem. When I was actually using Solana last year, like every chain has this problem, but Solana would you would get like scam NFTs and stuff sent to your wallet like every 30 seconds. Rust is cool, man. Yeah, I think Rust is a cool language, dude. It's kind of like, okay, if you're used to developing stuff on React, obviously people aren't going to like Rust that much because it's going to be a little brain teasing. But if you look at the Rust programming language, let's keep it real. If you look at the Rust programming language for what it is, it's a pretty hefty language. You could pretty much do anything with it, right? And it's got a lot of benefits. You can do stuff bare bones without having to import all this stuff. You can also import all this stuff and make it easier if you want to do that, which let's be real, that's probably what we're all going to do. But yeah, dude, I agree. Rust is cool, man. I can write in Python and C# and was wondering about bridging. Thank you for the info. Bridging from Python to C# to something else, or bridging from one blockchain to another. Let me know what you mean. I need to learn Rust TBH. I mean, yeah, we all do. That way I can blame devs when something breaks. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're dealing with that stuff on a regular basis, though, dude. You should definitely learn it. Cody, you have more of an incentive to learn Rust than me, homeboy. Solana, cyber adequate. I mean, yeah, look. Let's not get it twisted. If I'm gonna be straight edge Josh and be listen, guys, at the end of the day, all these computing networks we're gonna treat them like stocks and just keep your money, blah, blah, blah. Look, you probably make money off of Solana if you just if you wanted to think of it like that. Is it very trustworthy? I don't know. That's the biggest problem. And that was one of the reasons why I was so adverse getting into it last time. I mean, let's get real. Let's get real, guys. Let's get real. There ain't nothing like the corn out there. Ain't nothing like the corn. What speaking of, Bitcoin has all these layer 2s now popping up. Is it ever going to be trustworthy, guys? Is it ever not going to be glowing? Are we ever going to have a computing network with dApps on it that don't glow? I don't think so. I think that's just it is what it is. If you know what I'm talking about when I use the word glow, then you're a real one. If you don't, well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But I don't know. It is kind of soy, but hey, it'll be fun. It'll be fun, right? Run playlist. Oh, Rust playlist. That's the Rust playlist. Yes, thank you, Christian. Thank you. Rust playlist for the channel, right here. If you want to learn a little bit, get you doing a hello world in Rust, and a couple other small things. Cheat codes are bad speak. Yes, they are. It's those aliens. I know. What about that, dude? What about that? Should we bring? How long am I on the stream already? I wasn't supposed to take long. 43 minutes. Oh, Wade, why? Should we bring the? I mean, if you guys really want, if you wanted me to get into the alien / Bigfoot Miami topic, put a 1 in the chat. If not, I won't waste my time. Check out that first app ecosystem without the filter. Where, Cody? Show me, sir. The first app ecosystem without the filter. We had a filter on it. Okay, can we just go? Okay, explore. How do we get back to Solana? Cody, help! All rankings change. Okay, let's go to chain. We'll go layer 1. We want to pick Solana. Okay, Solana. What filter did we have on it, Cody? Damn it, 1. All right, fine. I'll get into that after this one. Okay, we'll talk about it, guys. Cody, what filter, sir? Check out the first app ecosystem without Solana filter. Oh. You mean just in general, right? Okay. Can we just go to dApp Radar, explore dApps? Let's do that. Okay, so the first one is that's an ad. Kai Ching, near. Okay, so the number 1 dApp right now, as far as not volume, but balance. So is it number 1 right now, Cody, because of balance on it, or because of network activity? Anyway, it's a near protocol, right? So that's pretty badass. Tis pretty badass. Max Nitas, high pitched voice.
A small fee.
Rust gets a bad rep because programming and it is like playing a game, and the game has rules. Yep. Yeah, it's not like, it's not super easy, right? Like you have a lot of rules when you're dealing with Rust, whereas something like JavaScript, you have like very little rules. Cody goes, I don't like rules. Eagle, I want to bridge my skills from C# to Anchor and Rust from Solana. I want to build stuff on Sol. Okay. I mean, dude, yeah, if okay, it sounds like to me, it sounds like the basics of, you said Python and C#. And that, if that's the case, the basics of programming, then AKA, all programming languages, you just don't know it yet, right? So, programming fundamentals. I would just pick up a Rust tutorial. Okay, how about this? If you're rusty on programming in general, maybe go back and like build some small quick application or run through like a LeetCode tutorial or something in like JavaScript, or you said Python in your case, or C# if you want to. And then once you feel like your brain's warmed up after like a week or two, I would just dive right into Rust. I would get into Rust first, at least get enough of understanding for Rust where you feel like, hey, on a scale of like 1 to 10, I'm like a 3 or a 4 out of 10 on Rust, where I understand it enough to where you feel like you can go learn Anchor, which is like basically like a Rust based programming language. And then you could just spend all the time you want on that. At that point, you'd be good to start, getting enough to where you can build a dApp, maybe do like a dApp tutorial or something. Maybe I should do the tutorial on my channel. Guys, here's another thing too. I was going to talk about this at the end of the stream, but um, I really want to build so much more tutorial videos, but some of them are like a hit and miss. Like I'll get some, for example, I'll do like a Rust tutorial video series, and I'll get several thousand views on a couple of them, right? And that's the thing. Rust is like weird. No one really wants to learn it. There's not a huge community for it, or at least there wasn't, right? And I'll get lots of hits on that. But then when I do something that I'm like, hey, what's like something that everybody needs to know, but doesn't, or maybe what's something that everybody needs to know and maybe not everybody does know, but they should learn. What's something that people are going to search a lot? Oh yeah, SQL, right? Because everyone needs to know SQL. I'll do a SQL videos. I get like 20 views. Like what the fuck? So like, I don't know. There's so many things I want to do because I actually enjoy doing tutorial videos. But if it was worth my time and I was actually going to get views for it, I would be doing that shit all day. I do live streams because I like to, guys. I'm not even monetized yet. Like, I think so. We have like what 957 subscribers right now. Before it used to be you can't get super chats or get monetization until you get 1,000, and then they changed it to 500, but they added your watch hours up. And I had like a 1.5 year hiatus, like not live streaming, which that's where most of my views came from originally, right? So now it's like you need to have 3,000 watch hours. So I just stream because I like to. Thanks, Skin. You're welcome. I'm the Chilean buddy. Yes. Solana indeed, my friend. Solana indeed. I know exactly who you are. All right, one in the chat, Okay. So we'll talk about the Miami alien / Bigfoot. Let's see if we can find. Can I find a YouTube video on? Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna get rid of all my tabs. I'm gonna get rid of all my tabs. I have like 3 gazillion tabs open. Let me get rid of all these tabs real quick, guys. And then we'll take a look at this. All right, so let me go to YouTube real quick and let me see if I can search Miami Bayside 2023. Okay, what's going on here? Okay. Rumors of shadow aliens at Bayside Market. All right, so like I'll play this role. Actually, I'll just shut up and I'll play this first before I talk. I'll play this first and then I'll give you my my opinion on it, because I wouldn't want to be rude. I hope you guys actually, let me make sure you guys can let me make sure I can share it with sound, because I don't think I had that clicked. Yes. Also share audio tab. Yes. Sorry guys. Boomer moment here. Zoomer, doomer, boomer, gloomer, bloomer moment. All right, let's go. Oh, this number keeps changing every time I hear the story. First, it was 4. And then today, my dad told me it was 30. And then my friend's wife told me it was 40. And now, apparently, this is 50. So, what the fuck? Hey, Lamau. Facepalm emoji, son. All right. So, all right. So that's what happened, right? And here's what I'll tell you guys. Brief breakdown, because this wasn't an intended topic for tonight, guys. But all right, since you guys want me to talk about it, brief breakdown what happened. All right. So like New Year's Eve or like day after, I don't know. I think it was New Year's Eve because I was at my friend and his wife's New Year's Eve party, and I remember telling them like, "Hey guys, there's like 50 bazillion cop. I've never seen that many cop cars in Miami ever, right? Like in one place. In fact, like, do you guys remember what happened in like the Stephen Paddock guy in Las Vegas with the pew pew? And supposedly it was him. And it was a Jason Aldean concert. I probably just got booted off the algorithm, but whatever. I'm trying to make a point here, so YouTube, please forgive me. It was a mass pew pewing, right, event that happened. Dude, there wasn't like as many cop cars at that thing that there was at this going on in Miami, right? And you'd think Miami, a big city, full of crime, and there was literally a Grand Theft Auto video game, GTA 6, like released where it's based in South Florida and Miami and blah blah blah. Like whoever that was had like they didn't have 5 stars, they had like 100 stars, right? I've never seen that many cop cars before, right? And I remember telling my friends like, hey, something went, what was going on. I hope all my friends back at home are okay because it looks like to me it was like a pretty big deal. Like I'm thinking when I see like I don't know the exact number of cop cars, but it damn sure looked like damn near like 50 different cop cars, which we know is more than 50 police, right? If not more than that. I'm thinking like, hey, this is like a mass event, something bad happened, blah blah blah. Maybe there was like a B0MB that went off, whatever, and like there was nothing posted about it, and there was like rumors on like the Instagram post I was looking at that was like, oh, there was like a fight or something like that or a riot. Some people said that it was a pew pew event, but then nothing, no answers. And then 3 days later, then it's on the news, and then it's on national news. So like we went like a couple of days period where like, hey, there's no explanation for why all these cops are right there, right? And what they said was, well, this is what I first heard. There was like a fight that broke out with a bunch of juveniles, a bunch of kids. First, it was 4 kids with sticks. They were like fighting each other with sticks, and then it was like 30, and then 40, and then now it's 50, right? And people were like, "Huh, isn't that kind of weird that there's that? Like, I've never seen that many cop cars, even for like really bad mass pew pew events, and there's no explanation for it. And it's all that was for what? For kids with sticks, like 4 kids with sticks. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And then people started trying to people do their little like their little at home researching. I guess they were like zooming in on the video and they saw a large creature, right? Large creature. I actually have a friend who is a cop. He's a cop in the Miami-Dade area. And I asked him today, I was like, yo, what's up with that? And he just sent me a video and he was like, yeah, it was just kids with sticks. It really was no aliens. And I didn't say anything to him. I was like, I was like, was it aliens or was it really Bigfoot? Because we all know it's Bigfoot. But to bring this all close circle, my friend's wife, she told me, I was on FaceTime with my friend, and his wife was in the background, and she knows that I'm obsessed with Bigfoot, right? Like I love Bigfoot. Shout out to Bigfoot, Sasquatchicus Idicus. He's probably outside the window looking at me right now. Because apparently there was a sighting like an hour away from where I am right now. But she knows I love Bigfoot. Everyone knows I love Bigfoot. And she's like, yo, Josh, you know that thing that you're talking about, the Miami thing? They're saying, so here's what she said. She's like, she heard Tucker Carlson talking about it on some show. And he was like, yeah, those 8-foot, 9-foot creatures are known to be in South Florida. They're very common there. That's probably what they were trying to hide. And me being the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, skunk ape in particular enthusiast that I am, well, I know that Florida, and particularly South Florida, used to be a fucking cesspool of those things. Like if you go back anecdotally, I'm not saying this is real in Minecraft. You go back anecdotally to before Miami was just a swamp and it was not irrigated, and they just started to build down there. There's lots of stories of people like having these things like run into people's backyards and shit. Because back then Miami was still kind of rural, right? The Everglades is full of these skunk ape things. So I'm like, That ain't no alien. That's just the big feats. That's just them big feats. That ain't no alien. But if you to be fair, if you actually zoom in on the video, it's not an alien or a Bigfoot creature. It's like three cops like walking together in a riot formation. That's all. That's it, guys. I'm glad we can get off that topic now because oh boy. Cody says, I think it was a migration of users that caused that. Maybe financial grease with that, probably. Apparently the Rust docs are pretty good for a tutorial. Yeah, the Rust. So guys, the Rust tutorial series that I did, I based that tutorial series. I just went through the Rust docs. That's all. I literally went through the Rust docs. There's a tutorial section there. I literally went right through it. So and it was pretty easy, I think. Cody also says, I think doing more niche languages will get more views, in my opinion. Yeah, well, that's the thing, because probably like my thinking was, well, for the algorithm, like what are most people going to search? But you can't think like that with the algorithm, right? You can't. And Rust is not likely to be searched, but there's not a lot of content on it. Yeah, like Rust. So I think if you can get in before, maybe the next tutorial series, guys, should be an Anchor tutorial series. Max says, I recommend people check out the quote, learn Rust with entirely too many linked lists. End quote. It's a way to start coding Rust. Let's check this out. Learn Rust with entirely too many linked lists. I love this title. Learn Rust with entirely too many linked lists. Hey, he wasn't I got autofill recommendation. He wasn't kidding. This be for real though. This is the rust-unofficial.github.io. Max, let me know if I'm actually checking out the right docs here. I'm going to share. Let's see. Is this what you're talking about, Max? Learn Rust with entirely too many linked lists. I fairly frequently get asked how to implement a linked list in Rust. The answer honestly depends on what your requirements are, and it's obviously not super easy to answer the question on spot. As such, I decided to write this book to comprehensively answer the question once and for all. I don't know if you're trolling now, Max, or if you're being for real. I don't know. I'm going to bookmark this though, because that is hilarious. I will read that. I will read it. Or Svelte Alien Gonzalez. What up, Aurelian? In the hoose. OG Nick Koya says, damn, we don't have any news anchors like that in the Midwest. Yeah, it was pretty. It glowed. That whole story was a little suspicious, wasn't it? We reached the point in time where the news has emojis. Yes, we have. I didn't even know Miami had that many cops. Yeah, you couldn't tell because they don't do anything. No offense. Got them kids playing dummy sticks in the streets again. It was Man Bear Big. Bold Stu in the house. Maps greater than linked list. Stu, you weren't here. I needed you earlier. There was we were going over Solana dApps, and there was one. I sent the link in the chat. You probably saw it. Oh yeah, you did. But what is this thing? It's so I'm really curious at how this is how the infrastructure of something like this works. Because I'll put this on the tab that I'm actually sharing. Let me not be greedy here with my information on my screen, guys. Let me not be greedy here. But I'm glad to have you in here, Stu, because now we can look at this together. I want your opinion. God, this is what I get for getting just one screen. All right. We are just working with one screen today, fellas. We are just working with one screen today. So be courteous. All right, Star Atlas, virtual gaming metaverse on the Solana blockchain with Unreal Engine 5, real-time graphics, multiplayer games, centralized financial technologies. Okay, I think so there's no way that the code with the Unreal Engine is hosted on the Solana network, right? This has to be what do you call transactions in a game? Buzzwords, Stu. I know you know the term. Microtransactions. Is it just that microtransactions are ran through the Solana network? If so, then okay, that's understandable. But if not, if they're deploying all this code with the Unreal Engine on the Solana network, I'd be surprised, and that'd be pretty insane. I answered in the Tech Tribe chat. Let me read what you said. Star Citizen is a drawn out development that seems like a scam. Star Atlas is actually a scam. Is it really? No gameplay, no proof of gameplay. Just NFTs instead of account numbers in a database for ships. Okay. Then it's not as impressive as we thought, right, guys? But hey, if normies like it, I guess that's why it's got a lot of it's responsible for a large chunk of Solana network activity. No, they're using it to verify ownership of ships. Okay. I mean, if you can incorporate that stuff, and that's the thing, like this is one of the biggest things that I learned, and I think a lot of other people learned when it came to like Web3 and stuff like that. Like if you have a fully functioning like application and the whole thing doesn't need to be ran in Web3, maybe just like parts of it do, then you shouldn't be like, if you can do something with just a normal database that doesn't necessitate Web3 technology behind it, then do it with a normal database. But if part of your application would clearly benefit from having Web3 incorporated into it, then you incorporate that part. So like, man, maybe like confirming ownership between ships. That makes sense to me. But like developing an entirety of something on a blockchain seems kind of expensive, and I don't know. Seems like the title for the Rust book that Michael Zala sent to us. Their studio pays better than Star Citizen's. They stole a couple devs, some of the Star Citizen ship designers. Oh, RIP, they're getting that money. Makes sense, dude. Makes sense to me. Oh yes, I forgot, guys. We went off way too long on the Bigfoot tangent. So let me get to this last topic real quick. Let's talk about the economy, because that's what I was supposed to talk about in the stream too. The economy. All right. So let's take a look at this guy. Again, I'm not an economist, right, guys? I'm just trying to point out facts here. Something that kind of like some news that I heard. The news that I heard from Michael Bordadano, whatever his name is, his YouTube channel. The one he was talking about was from a couple weeks ago. But this article, which I couldn't find, I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking, but I couldn't find the one that the Michael Bordadano was talking about. This article is from September 2023. Michael's, in his video, he was basically saying that the same thing has happened like now. So this is continued. It hasn't gotten any better. Mortgage applications are at the lowest level in 28 years, right? Investopedia, I do not want to become an educated investor. Please kindly fuck off. I hate pop-ups. No, block. Get rid of them all. So yeah, mortgage applications are the lowest level in 28 years. And why does that matter? And I think recently, like, rates have gone down a little bit. People still aren't taking out mortgages, right? And like a large part of the American economy, which affects almost all economies, is based off of people getting mortgages. And if people aren't doing that, well, that's kind of like a bad sign, right? That either tells you that prices are too high, or people can't afford them, or something ain't right? So I wouldn't say that's necessarily a healthy sign of the economy. And I just wanted to preface the economy section of the stream with this, because it's like, hey, like, how can you say, now I know, okay, I'm sorry, I know the economy's great. Shh. Everything's fine. Ice Cream Man said it was okay, but I don't know. They also were saying that aliens are in the street in Miami, so I don't fucking know what's true anymore. I think this just kind of means something. And why does it matter? And this channel, for most of you guys who don't give a fuck about more, well, actually a lot of you guys care about economical stuff. Well, I'm wondering how this is going to affect the job market, in particular to developers. Now, there's a lot of other stuff in like real estate and the housing economy that's going on, specifically in Florida too. Like, they have all kinds of stuff going on in Florida with like condo associations and insurance, which insurance is insanely going off everywhere. But what does it affect? What does it matter? Because it could affect us. So something I wanted to note, beginning of the stream, I said that 2024 is going to be far more interesting than 2023. I think it's going to be interesting in a good way, but it also could come with those wimmy wham wacky wazzle things that happen, like a bunch of people getting laid off. And you guys all remember the tech layoffs. For people in DD, that like people that are trying to get jobs that aren't even in DD, you guys know that it's hard out here for a pimp, right? You're trying to get a job. It's hard out here for a pimp. It's been hard. The 2022 layoffs that caused a lot of ruckus, and apparently, guys, this article, tech layoffs 2023. Now that the year is complete and we have all the data, has actually surpassed 2022 totals. So more than 1,000 tech companies announced layoffs in 2023, affecting nearly 262,000 workers. And they got a little sad Spotify picture right here. That girl looks pretty happy, but she probably wasn't 3 days after this picture was taken because she probably got fired. Anyway, so this is updated as of January 2nd, so 5 days ago. Layoffs have been making headlines since late 2022, but they're primarily concentrated in tech. As of January 2nd, 2024, a total of 1,183 companies laid off workers in 2023, according to layoffs.fi. And that website tracks layoffs. So that brings our total to 261,900. So basically 262,000 workers in tech lost their jobs since the beginning of 2023. And it was like 100,000 less than that in 2022. So 2023 was worse. What else does the article have to say about this? And total was more than 2020 and 2021. Okay. So like you guys remember the coof? Don't go outside. 15 days, flatten the curve, just 5 more minutes, bro. You guys remember that time? Well, it had all the scary like layoffs and stuff. And well, 2022 was worse, and then 2023 was worse than that. So it's like, I don't know. Cody says, I'm betting 2024 might not be any better. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it also might be a different industry taking the hit. So don't self-delete yet. I think so too. Cause like at this point, I think most of those tech, cause okay. Just like, let's take this in the context of degenerate cryptocurrency trading. Like we were just talking about earlier. All right. So like, what are the coins that skyrocket the most in value compared to like normal coins? Like, I don't like Bitcoin. Well, you got Cock Inu, you got, new things like Solana, new shiny flashy things, those go up the most, but what goes up must come down. Usually what tends to be in markets like that, things that raise in the most volatile manner in price also go down the most volatile. So in tech, what happened was in 2021, all these big companies and all these new companies were like getting massive amounts of funding, and they hired on a fuck ton of people, right? And what goes up must go down. And usually what goes up the hardest comes down the hardest. So I think now that that's out of the way, most of these big companies, if they're smart, if they're smart, right, are running lean right now, right? So they're probably not like the tech companies, right? They're probably not looking to push people out. They're probably already have been well beyond getting the holes in their ship corked up, right? So they're not going to sink anymore. They're good, but we haven't seen it happen. I mean, there's all kinds of anecdotal stuff all over the internet about like jobs being shitty everywhere, finding a job being shitty, not just in tech, but we don't have any like statistics. People aren't like, oh, the tech market's going to zero. People aren't like the underwater basket market's going to zero. Let's put it on the news, right? Because the tech market's in the news all the time. So like, I'm willing to bet, just using like regular logic, that we might be spared. Cody might be right about this. And I say we, but I'm just the tech market in general. It might not have like massive layoffs anymore. It's probably going to come to, if I had to take a guess, the banking industry seems like it's not doing too well. It seems like the banking industry is going through right now what tech was going through in 2022, right? But that might not be good for the rest of every other industry, because if banking goes down, well, how can people afford payroll, right? How can people afford to do anything? Clay Buster in the house. What up, dude? He says, my company just outsourced about 25 to 30% of our IT staff's end of Q1 24. Okay. Yeah. Do you think they have like, I'm not surprised here. Do you think they have like a lot? Like, do you think, Clay, that your company, that was a strategic, tasteful move on their part, or do you think they'd be safe and sound now? Or do you think that it would be more problematic and they might have to do that again? That's the thing. That's the question here, is like, this is already like, how many, if you get a punching bag full of like feathers, and you put a hole in it and you just beat the living shit out of this punching bag full of feathers, and feathers are flying out everywhere, like eventually it gets to the point where like there's no more feathers to like come out, right? Like there's only a certain amount of people working in the industry, and there is a bare minimum of stuff that needs to get by, whether you're in tech or whatever. There's a bare minimum of work that needs to get done for like society to sustain itself, right? So like, how much more can we actually go? A bowl of stew. I'm scared about gas availability. Got to go in the woods, son. Got to go in the woods. I am not. I thought that FUD was over like a year and a half ago. Maybe there's something I need to go look into because I haven't heard anything about that. Projection has been cut repeatedly to push the EVs. Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, a lot of these car manufacturers are taking like huge hits on their EVs. If I'm being real with you guys, sales, if we're talking dollars and cents in sales, the average person doesn't want an EV. And if the government wasn't forcing car companies to buy carbon tax credits, otherwise you can buy carbon tax credits or you can produce EVs, then they wouldn't be producing EVs. It would just be Tesla and that's it. And yeah, a lot of these car manufacturers, like I know Ford, basically like the F-150 Lightning, which they ruined the fucking Lightning's name. Like the Lightning is like childhood truck dream. Fast and Furious. They ruined it, made it into an electric vehicle, which it's cool if it works fine, but it didn't. It was a disaster. So is the Hummer EV. Like a lot of these EVs are a disaster. And I know Ford in particular, I won't speak for GM. Ford like is cutting their EV production like more than half. It might even be 3/4 because like they took a loss on that. They took a strategic knee on the field because the government was like, hey, if you don't take this knee, then we're gonna slap you in the face with a baseball bat. So like, okay, we can either be concussed or we can take a knee and lose a couple points. So they took a knee and lost a couple points. They had to do that. That's just business. It's just called, it is what it is. Charges of the game. They're being a big company. But the fact of the matter is like, dude, no one wants these EVs, dude. I mean, some of them are cool. Some people do. But if you live in the real world where most people don't really want an EV. It's not there yet. If we could like, well, we've had that discussion on the stream, so I'm not going to go and do it anymore. I'm going to get people in the comments like last time, like randos. You get like EV, no. But whatever. It's crazy. And EVs are more expensive to operate. They're worse for the earth. Apparently you get like radiation driving them. I don't know, dude. Me personally, I don't want anything to do with them. I'm just not a fan. Like, I'll put it to you guys like this. I'm not an old school, like big old school car person, like Cody. I am an enthusiast for sure. I'm a car enthusiast, but I have a brand new truck. I have a Raptor, guys. And like the Raptor has like the coolest eco-poof motor and blah, blah, blah. It's like, instead of a traditional naturally aspirated 8-cylinder, it's a twin turbo V6. And it's supposed to be all this like cool hype, all this new tech that they throw in an engine. And it's like saves weight and it's better on gas mileage. Like it's a fun truck to drive. But honest guys, my mom and my dad have a newer F-150 with a 5.0 Coyote V8 in it. And it's the same. It's like the same exact engine that was in my Mustang, except it's actually a little bit better. And if I were to floor both them, the Raptor might be faster, but like this doesn't feel the same. You don't feel like you don't feel it. This just, it ain't right. So I'm just enthused. And on an enthusiast level, I would never buy an EV because I'd be like, I'm flooring it. And yeah, it's fast, but like, I'm not, it's just a car. I don't know what this is. Are we in public transit? I'm not sure. That's how my brain, because I'm older, my brain would just be wired up to be like, hey, this doesn't feel right. I'm not an enjoyer of the EVs. I'm an enjoyer of good old naturally aspirated American V8s. Koya says they made such a big deal out of it in Detroit, even made us design them in school, went nowhere. Well, hypey from Govy. You better wear that mask, boys. You better wear that mask. You better not go outside. We need 15 days to flatten the curve. All right. You better. It's scary. There's scary monsters in the air outside. If you go outside, you might become unalive. Clay says the public stock companies, they're tinkering with the bottom line. The board brought in an exec team to lean it out, either sale or make it a good short term, less than 3 years. Yeah. I mean, I think there's probably a lot of companies like facing the same thing, man. Because the fact of the matter is we're just not in good financial shape. Like it's just, the economy isn't. We are now dealing with the repercussions that, by the way, I was saying is going to happen like two and a half years ago on this channel. And I'm not a scientist or anything. Maybe you consider myself smart. I might consider myself a little smart. I might be a little bit educated or something, but like you really don't have to be, you didn't have to be smart to see, like, don't take the freebies. It just ends up fucking everything up. Like, look at all the repercussions we're dealing with. And truth be told, guys, I don't want to get doomy here, but if we really want to, like, it's a lot. It's not, things are not as good as they make it portrayed out to be in the news. What do we know about the news, guys? Whatever's in the news, here's my opinion. You don't have to agree. Whatever's in the news, like if you were to take, so the news says you go outside today, it's going to be sunny and the sky is blue. Even though I know in my mind, hey, I looked at the window, it's sunny and the sky probably is blue because the sky is always blue when it's a clear day. Even though I know in my mind that's true, if the news said it to me, I'm literally more likely to believe that what's close to the truth is if you took that on the exact opposite, turn it on its head, and you're like, it's not sunny in the sky. What's opposite of blue? Yellow. The sky is yellow. The sky is pink, purple, polka dotted. That's probably, in my mind, more likely to be true if the news is saying that the sky is blue. So, I mean, no more rant, Josh. Stop it. Clay says most people can't afford to have it sit in a mechanics for 6 months with a huge bill racking up. It sucks, dude. Like, you get locked out of one of those things, or one of those things like doesn't work, like the battery. Like you can't even get in your car for like months until someone can come and pick it up, fix it. Which there's like a waiting list for all that stuff, at least with Tesla. So, Bull Stu said, I just want a 12,000 towing 3-row SUV with 4x4. Don't we all, brother? That's just like the American dream. Here's where the EV thing makes sense, too. Hybrids make sense, bro. Hybrids make sense. They're kind of expensive and costly, and they might make your car way more, but they make sense because they work. And like with the bound in the 3-dimensional realm, which you can't ignore that we're in because you see it every day. I'm looking at a camera and a screen right now on my hand and a desk. Like, bound to the 3-dimensional world that we're in and the constraints that we have in current year, like EVs just don't make a whole lot of sense to be like extremely practical, right? But what is practical, if you want to utilize the technology, it's a hybrid. I believe anything that Latina on Miami News told me. Not bad news anchors, huh? Plug-in hybrid would be great. 50 miles EV range. Yeah. She makes sense to me, folks. Makes sense to me. So I don't know. We'll have to see. It looks like, I mean, it's not like the world's burning or anything like that. What is, by the way, guys, what is the current thing? Because I've been what's the term I want to use here? Well, I won't use any term. I have been not paying attention to all the bad things that are going on in the world because, quite frankly, I just got tired of it. It's fun to keep up with it every now and then, but what is the current thing now? Because like Ukraine is no longer a current thing, right? Is the conflict in the Middle East, is that even current thing anymore? Or is it something else? Because what is current thing? I don't know. You guys can tell me. I do think Rivian looks cool. Dude, the Rivian is a badass looking truck. And like, hey, if you're going to use it, like, it's hardware, it's tech. It'd probably be pretty fun to take off-road and do some stupid stuff with. But in the back of my mind, if I got one of those, I would know damn sure, if I'm going to go spend a weekend in the woods with the boys, I'm not taking this thing because I'll be toast in like 3 hours and everyone else could be playing around, doing mud donuts, getting stuck in trees, doing dumb stuff. And I'll be like, oh, guys, my Rivian died. I can't partake. And, I might take it and, for like a 1 hour trail or something like that. I probably wouldn't, I think from my understanding, like if you're towing with these things, their towing capacity goes to like 50-mile range if you're towing something with your EV. But I might take it to like tow it to the boat launch 2 miles down the road. Actually, I don't know. Water in EVs kind of susses me out, but it does look cool. I will give you that. Edison Motors diesel electric is also cool. Oh, I saw that. That's like the hybrid. That's a hybrid like diesel rigs, right? Electric motor and axles powered by diesel generator. Okay, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. That wasn't what I was talking about, but I do know what you're talking about. Max says, when the U.S. Army announces the new all-electric M1 Abrams, I'll be convinced. Dude, wouldn't that be ain't that some shit, dude? Wouldn't that be some shit? Maybe be like the ray gun, but in real life. Aurelian says, the Funny Island guy. Might that be the current thing? Funny Island boys. Is that the current thing? Or is that already over too? Is the current thing going by? Is nothing setting anymore? Like, are they going to have to find, this is what scares me, guys. When there's no like big current thing, then it's like, what are they going to have to do to keep everybody occupied and like, hashtag stand with Ukraine? What are they going to do to get people's occupied. They're going to have to do something. That's why I don't like it. I don't like it when there's no current thing. I don't like it when there's no current thing because you know something else is coming. Stephen Hawking parachuting into St. James. Is it the current thing? Harvard lady getting 900K severance after resigning. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going on too. I guess we'll leave it to where there. I mean, I guess there is no current thing right now, boys. I guess there is no current thing. Maybe current thing will be in 2024. It might have to do with an election. We'll see. So yeah, guys, that's it. I'm already like 30 minutes past stream time that I wanted to do. Changes to the channel. I'm gonna try to stream more. I'm gonna go back and watch the replay. It looks like the feedback for the quality wasn't too bad. But like I think that I'm probably still gonna have to. I am in an undisclosed location in the woods. It doesn't look like it because I'm in a very nice house in the woods, but I'm in an undisclosed location, very far away from civilization. And the internet that is being used right now is actually my dad. So there's no fiber and there's no like internet to the home here. You have to get internet from a cell tower, right? And so my cell tower, my phone reception is not good. I can't make a phone call in this house. But my dad actually got a SIM card from a phone plan, put it into a router, and basically with a bunch of antennas and magnifiers, hit the cell phone signal that he can pull from the SIM card is like 10 times stronger of that from a phone. And then we're using that as Wi-Fi. So bada boom, bada bing. But I'm glad to hear that the quality wasn't too bad. We're going to see. I might have to get Soylink TM. But I would like to start streaming a little bit more. And yeah. Oh, yeah, the FNG list. The FNG list. The FNG list. I know what you mean by FNG, but should I fake and G? But should I know what the FNG list is? Oh yes. Oh, now I know. The Island Boy FNG list. Yeah, it's FNG. That was like that was the list that came out from 2008. Nobody realized that. Everybody thinks that's like the list from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. It's not. That list has already been out. But distract them, distract the people. Wear the mask. Stay inside. Scary air. Election year is all good. Yeah, there's probably going to be some wacky, wiggy, wham, wazzle things going on. He didn't get notification at the start of the stream. Not surprised. YouTube admins hate him. Based data award. Yeah, it was pretty smart of him to do that. But still, I'm only getting like 40 or 50 down and maybe like 10 up. So I might, in order for the stream thing to work out, I might have to get Soylink, guys. Yeah, it's not bad for 5G interwebs. Ain't too bad. All right, guys. I'm out. See ya.